Okie dokie, round 4, playing blue-red Drake. We are currently 2-1, and we lost a dice roll. Seems like this deck does not have goblins' power to win a dice roll. I think this is fine though. Hopefully they're some sort of creature deck. If they're not, I think this hand is gonna, let us down. More affinity. Well, I know it's very exciting to watch Affinity do its thing 3 times in the same league, but them's the breaks. This is why I have 4 Flame Slash in my main deck, right? I didn't put them in my deck not to kill 4/4s. Obviously, if they just have like 3 Mirror Enforcers this turn or something, then dead. But what can you do? Time to start clearing things out. I was hoping, hopefully they won't have any more thought casts and we can just kill all their creatures before they deal us too much damage, and then hopefully that will give us enough time to draw one of our many card drawing effects. Yeah, alright, multiple 4/4s. Nice, decent. Not nice, and indecent. Should I be bolting this Frogmite? Or should I be saving it to potentially draw something that can team up with the Lightning Bolt to kill Carapace Forger? I think I should probably kill it, but I can wait. It's an instant after all. And we can potentially flashback Firebolt in the future on Frogmite if we have the time. At least these Swiftwater Cliffs are giving us a little bit of a life cushion, considering that we're doing quite little at the moment. Well, time to play some more Cliffs. I think if they make us counterspell something, if it's like pre-combat, I might snap off the Lightning Bolt just to save 2 damage. But we're definitely priced into not bolting at pre-combat just because of the counterspell we just drew and the makeup of our lands. So I think if we draw like an Archaeomancer or like a Muldrifter, we should be in reasonable shape. Yeah, I don't think we've got enough time to mess around too much, unfortunately. That was actually lazy. I should have clicked this Boilerworks to tap the red there in case they responded with something that I needed to counterspell. And we managed to peel our way to another Flame Slash, which is nice. Is this a fling? Well, so if it is a 4 damage burn spell, are we countering it? There's definitely the argument where I should not counter it in order to counter like a real threat that comes up afterwards. Considering, I have this Boilerworks and Cliffs to buy a bit of extra life against the Germ token by itself. And I would definitely much rather counterspell, another Mirror Enforcer or Carapace Forger or something along those lines. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how we drew it up. That's not how we drew it up. It's very unfortunate. I'm thinking we need to throw everything we've got at this Atog so it doesn't murder us. So that includes using Firebolt on it. Just to cut down on the amount of things that they have. I mean, we could have like played a Swiftwater Cliffs and ghostly flickered 2 Swiftwater Cliffs. I think we're just dead. Yes. Well, that's a shame. I thought we might have turned the corner there, but we really needed some of our things to block with. Or at least something to be ghostly flickered rather than not ghostly flickered. So, yep, we were, like, you know, 1 or 2 cards away from being able to take over. So we're going to put in our Hydroblast again. And our Gorilla Shamans, of course. Cut down on our clunky things. I think like 3 counter spells on play is still fine. So we need like 1 fewer thing. Just another Jecht, I think. Like we can't keep hands with like multiple Jekts and Muldrifters anyway. We need all of our cards to be cheap, or as many cards as possible to be cheap. I think this one's on the fringes of playability, but I think it has fine mana. Like I could have taken out a compulsive research, but on the play I think it's a little bit better than some of the other things, since we have hopefully a little bit more time to cast it. Hopefully, even more hopefully, you know, following using removal spells on the first turn or 2. It's possible that this hand is not keepable, but I think with the cycling land and all, it was close enough. I might regret it. Opponent tanked for quite a long time on their hand, and then mulliganed, so we might be okay still. Well, that's all of our Drakes. So hopefully we'll at least have like a Muldrifter or something by the time we actually cast these, rather than just making a bunch of vanilla 2/3 flyers. But it seems like they're, you know, taking it slowly too, I suppose. Just building up before they can play something good. Well, we do want this Muldrifter. Visit Boilerworks would help us reach where we're going, though. I think I'll take Muldrifter. I think with the compulsive research, we're going to be able to hit like land number 5 anyway. Ideally, we actually play compulsive research into like a flame slash or something and kill a 4/4. But they've only got 3. Well, after cycling, they have a bit more, but they don't have that many cards in their hand. And we do have quite a lot of cards to draw that kill creatures, including Hydroblasts for that Atog, which would be quite good to kill, I would say. Another Seagate Oracle. Well, I think I should cast that one, since it gives us an extra chump blocker for the Atog, since I don't think we can ever let it hit us. And we are free to take any 1 mana interactive card and cast it. Well, that is not actually what we wanted at all, but what can you do? So we just need to try very carefully not to die. How hard could that be, right? Okay, that's good play there. So I'm just gonna stick 1 creature in the way of the Atog. It's gonna eat Chromatic Star. But if you don't, then you know they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that they could have like pumped it up and flung it at us. So they were gonna have plenty of things to run in the way later. Although it's interesting that they sacked an Ancient Den rather than Chromatic Star. Presumably they need this in order to cast Fling. I guess possibly they could have a Pyroblast or something. So, alright, time to start casting Drakes and then see what happens. If they counter it, then it's not too bad. What does this mean? Okay, they're Galvanic Blasting that. I am happy enough with that outcome. Because I've got some Drakes. So actually I think I'm going to take this opportunity now to just Hydroblast this. There are plenty of things that can go wrong with dispels and all that sort of thing. And I don't need to cast Muldrifter since I can just like block and cast like Ghostly Flicker. Or I can just double block and, you know, kill off one of his creatures. Hmm. I think it's like this block's a bit unusual, but like I say, we don't really need to combo them anymore. So just removing permanents wherever possible sounds great because you know we've got this Muldrifter and Ghostly Flickers to follow up with. We have actually got quite a lot of mana. I don't need any red in the near future, so gain my value life this time instead of the untapped land for next turn. I think if we get to untap this turn without anything too tragic happening to us, then everything is fine. And this time, well, no, that will show me for not leaving up extra lands. Well, this time I think I'm happy to try and lure them into doing something with Atog, since we have the Hydroblast and Counterspell. So I'll leave this Gorilla Shaman 1 turn, I think, to see if I can lure them into doing something, and then punish them for it. A 4/4 that isn't an artifact. You know, what a stop that one. So what happens if I just double block this? How many things will they put into the graveyard to feed the Atog? Because if it's a lot of things, then I can just Ghostly Flicker. Because they might want to sack an extra thing. Alright, sweet. I'll take that, I guess. Ah well. Oops, that's not the correct mode. I'll just destroy their Atog. And thus nothing went wrong for me. They got the Ghostly Flicker and that was it. Okay. So I think everything seemed pretty fine there. Compulsive research on draw, not so pleased with that one. I can see an argument for playing like a couple of Pyroblasts. You definitely don't want a lot of Pyroblasts since we're mostly countering Thoughtcast and Dispels. And it's like a little bit clunky. I think what I'll do is I'll just put in another Archaeomancer and get ready to kill more things, and then cast Eternal Witnesses basically. Oh wow, this hand. That is so close to being a real hand. Because it has like a Flame Slash to kill the 4/4s as a Gorilla Shaman, and if they don't kill the Gorilla Shaman, then I get to kill their lands, and the minute I hit a blue source, then I get to sort myself out for lands later. It's pretty greedy. I mean, I want to draw. These Muldrifters are a bit slow. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not sure if I should, which is why I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna find out if this is a good idea or not. Them having Great Furnace is actually a shame, because if it was like a different artifact land, then they probably wouldn't be able to kill this turn. This turn, if they do have Galvanic Blast, then, sure, they have the Galvanic Blast, and Gorilla Shaman dies. I guess the problem is if they... okay. Because if they just play like a 4/4, and then I embarrassingly only destroy one land this turn, but turns out I'm great and peeled a second land on turn 2. Alright, we did it. We have successfully activated Gorilla Shaman.